Hey guys, this is Pedro back with another interview covering VCT EMEA Stage 2. For this occasion, I'm here accompanied by Gorilla, the head coach of Team Vitality, who are coming off of a 2-1 series victory over BBL Esports at the end of, I believe, third week of the split. Um, Gorilla, thank you so much for taking the time doing this real quick after a match like that. A match that for a moment it appeared that BBL was going to come out on top, but you guys then pulled off that amazing comeback in that second half of that third map. I mean, just coming off of that, just how are you feeling? How are you? How were you kind of looking at the comeback from the team from your point of view?
I think honestly I have to give props to everyone because I used both my timeouts in the first half. I basically could speak at halftime, can't speak in the second half until they could take a timeout. But like the energy shift from everyone after the second timeout was like night and day. And then it took a few rounds to get the wheels turning. And then as soon as we started going, it was a full snowplow, right? But honestly, I'm very happy with everyone. I feel really, really good, really confident with it. Obviously, it was a bit closer than we'd liked and that we expected it to be. But I'm just happy we came out on top.
For sure. I mean, at the end of the day, you guys were able to take down the win. So even though no matter what happens in the lead up to that, I mean, at least if you guys ended up with the W, then that's all that matters in the end. Going into just the comms, I mean, as you said, not being able to talk to the team from the end of the second timeout to the very end of the match. How did you kind of look at the team's comms, and how were they able to then make that switch to pull off that comeback? Just having the good mindset and just having that be set for that comeback.
It was mainly in the first half, kind of nothing we were doing was kind of working. I think we had the wrong read on them in the sense of they'll rotate and just leave the space. But they really stood their ground, and we kept running in, and they were very prompt with their reactions, with their counter util. It was really well played from them. But I definitely feel like after the second timeout, we start to finally get a read, start to get a rhythm going in the game. Yeah, as I said, it continued, and then our defense is very strong on Lotus with this comp. So yeah.
I mean, the one thing that, or the good way I don't know what to say, but the final play of that map was the safe clutch. I think the ace clutch. I mean, I just want to ask about like what your mindset was like, or how do you kind of view that? And of course, after that, because I believe after the match, Sayf was emotional on the broadcast. I understand, things happened around him, but how was it just for you and the team to kind of see Sayf perform well, especially on that final round, and just having him be probably the big contributor to that.
Yeah, that final round was one of the most intense rounds of Valorant I've ever watched. We love Sayf in this team. He is the shining star. Not even in the server, out the server. He's the one bringing the energy. He's the one setting the example for the team. And basically, yes, he's going through some times at the moment. Obviously, I won't get into that, but he's going through a rough time. And honestly, we've basically done our best to facilitate what he needs from us in terms of support. And for him to come and play like that, like I don't think I can count the amount of times that he got multi-kills on both hands. Like, it was, what, 2, maybe 3 aces in the last map? I can't remember. Like, he performed extremely well, and we were really rallied behind him, and yeah.
Yeah, you were correct in that sense. 2 aces in that final map.
Yeah.
A testament to just this continuation of form, individually speaking, especially from when he made the switch back to being a duelist after being an initiator type S kind of player earlier on in the year. Just sort of focusing on him now. How would you kind of view his shift, individually speaking, to just basically playing as well as he did back when he was in Team Liquid, individually wise, how do you kind of look at that progression for him?
I mean, when you have Cristiano Ronaldo, you don't put him in defense. So it's like it's kind of that analogy, right? Like, we have an extremely good duelist player who's sitting on Sentinel at the moment. We have a more of a passive duelist player who doesn't take as many risks. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm saying he doesn't take as many risks, and if you look at the role of a sentinel and whatever, we thought, oh, it's a insta switch. You know, like it's literally Emil will be more suited towards sentinel, and his playstyle suits it, and he's fallen in the role really well. But with Sayf, it's like, you know, we always knew that we were a bit scared that it was like he was going to take a few, like the change wouldn't be instant. You know, he'd have to readjust. That's not the case. You know, it's straight away in the Team Liquid game, straight away in practice, he's out there. And also the main reason for it was the direction that he gives in the core like in the core of the team when we do a lot of 1-3-1s, whatever. When Sender can't be in the core, Sayf is taking a lot of the, in terms of microing, right? Let's go here, flash from me here. Let's do, you know, like that. Sender's still calling the macro of the round, but Sayf's really directing the pack of people and where he wants Util to be. So, and honestly, it's working a dream for us.
It does feel like then that Safe is the main guy, you know, for this team. You know,
Yep.
the kind of the kind of person that you would want to be the at the forefront of, you know, performance and also like collectively wise, right?
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, going into just sort of how the stage has progressed for you guys. Obviously, you know, changes was made to the team on top of just what we've been talking about so far. First and foremost, yourself being the head coach for Salah, after you started out as assistant head coach. Kind of two-part question: how you kind of viewed your move to or transition to the head coaching role, and what kind of difficulties that kind of brought to you, for you specifically, and in addition to that, how have you kind of viewed the team's overall form throughout this stage, in just trying to stand out and try to at least snatch one spot at playoffs to then, you know, possibly make champions.
It's been a hard switch. It's not like night and day, right? Like in terms of like, oh, I wake up one day and now I'm the head coach and I suddenly know like what to do. I've been learning a lot basically day by day. And Malik, Damien, who's being kind of brought in as a consultant, has really been helping me mainly transition towards being creating a better, like a good environment, being a good like interpersonal leader rather than, you know, just pure strategic analytical stuff, which is what like my background, right? And it's definitely the biggest challenge is culture, building a good consistent culture. People want to come in every day, people want to do the extra work, people enjoy being together. Building that has definitely been the biggest challenge, because yes, like, you know, we could have kept the same like thing under like, you know, that we started under Salah, but it's like at the end of the day, with the changes we made in the team in terms of the way we do things, what we're doing, the way we're playing, we felt it's like, look, we need to pretty much overhaul everything. Like we took huge risks in not only obviously me becoming head coach, but huge risks in terms of how, like, the process, how we do stuff as a team. Like everything is different, and it's a huge risk considering we only had a handful of weeks before the stage started. And yeah, things aren't perfect, things aren't polished. Like it's written on our whiteboard in the thing. It's like, don't let perfect be the enemy of good. Like, you know, we're not trying to be perfect. We're trying to do what works for us, and we're trying to be a good team. And so far, in practice and in officials as well, it's getting there. It's you know, everyone is enjoying playing with each other.
For sure, you know, taking a W such as this in a critical time of the season is definitely a good way to continue the team's format, continue the team's progression amidst this system that you're trying to curate and put to and execute to your fashion. Coming into today, you guys were in a deadlock with four other teams with a 4-5 record. A victory with this now sets you at a good position to get to playoffs. That said, though, you got one match remaining. Final match, final day. Basically, the closing match of the regular season in Stage 2 against Carmine Core. How is the team going to approach this final match, and the kind of pressure it also brings to the team and also for yourself?
So during the whole season, our approach has just been take it game by game. Like we didn't think about the Fnatic game until the Liquid was out the way. We didn't think about this game until Fnatic was out the way. It's the same thing. Like our sole focus for this week has been on BBL, and it will be the same for next week. Our focus will be for Carmine. So it'll be a really good game between us. Like I think they have to win that game to even have a chance at playoffs. I think. I don't know. I don't know. Like or who has to win what to qualify. Like I just want to win my games. You know that's what I need to do. But honestly. In terms of our preparation, it's not going to be anything different. It'll be, you know, we'll get the prep done, we'll get the ante done, go in, practice what we need to practice, work on our mistakes, review this game, you know, and go for the next game. You know, it's we got a team of grinders out here, right? Like it's, you know, so we just move on day by day, step by step. It's all we can really ask for. And in the BBL game on the last map, round by round, yeah. So.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Hopefully, you know, I would say like you don't want to see another cardiac field, cardiac arrest kind of field, showing. But still, you know, as I said, as long as you come out with a W, then that's all that matters. So
That's
that
all
said,
that matters, bro.
of course, of course. That said, I'm gonna wrap up the interview right here. Gorilla, really appreciate you taking the time once again for doing this interview real quick. Of course, congrats on the victory, and of course, best of luck goes to you next week.
Thank you, bro.